One down. One more. Got him. Yeah. 2 down. Putting up my radar. And you, sir, are proponent in it. Yeah, that's another JDubb word of the day. Word of the day.
Propel? Hold on, what you say?
Proponent in it.
Oh,
wow.
come on.
Thank you.
Come Goku? You got Goku like that? Oh no! Oh my God! You caught me with that shit, but I pulled it back on you. That was crazy. That was crazy. Stop the violence. Have some respect when you talk to people. And put some respect on LaForge's name, man. You get bit. All right, I'm done. I'm out.
Oh, that was some BS. That was some BS. I swear there's a delay, but good kill. Really? You got combos just ready to go like that? Or was that a throw?
I choose to remain silent.
Okay. Hello. Welcome to another episode of MAGA, the music, anime, game, and analyst show. I am your host, JDubb, joined by my co-host, Mr.
NVP Payton.
And we want to welcome you again and thank you for joining us on this wonderful day. And depending on when, where, and how you're watching this, we just want to wish you a happy new year, even though you may be watching this way in the future. It's still a new year every year, so happy new year for whenever you're watching this, even if it's December. Happy upcoming new year if it's December when you catch this out. But catch this out, yeah, that's that new slang.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, but before we get started, there's a couple things that we just want to make a quick announcement on. MAGA Podcast is not affiliated with the outgoing administration. In an effort to disassociate the acronym MAGA with negative politics, we do not mention political opinions or views on this podcast. Our mission is to analyze music, movies, anime, gaming, and current events related to the culture. With that being said, I feel it is very important that as a Black man and as an American that we must speak on the events that took place in United States Nation's Capitol building with a OL, or is it AL? AL for the location, OL for the building.
Yeah.
It was upsetting. If you're not familiar with the events that happened, then I guess you haven't been up on current events, which is one of the things that we do cover on our podcast. Then let me just give you a brief rundown. Crazy ass white people. Yeah, I said it. White people lost their damn mind and stormed the symbol of American litigation, the symbol of the American, democracy, the Capitol building, broke in, displaying Confederate flags, breaking windows. I heard that they took their feces and their own shit. Yes, feces. That's what shit is.
What?
And smeared it on the walls. Like I've heard stories of that. Obviously, we saw the pictures of them breaking into the Speaker of the House's office and taking property that don't belong to them. We saw people dressed up as Vikings, carrying podiums away. And tragically, some people lost their lives. And any loss of life is always tragic, but as certain people have said, you do stupid things, you get stupid prizes. Breaking into the nation's Capitol building is one of those things, disrupting Congress from fulfilling their constitutional duty of confirming the president of our nation. They literally tried to stop democracy in its progress. But that's only one of the reasons I'm mad. I'm mad as an American, yes. I'm mad for the symbolism of what that mob did to tread on our American, institutions, our history, the fabric of democracy is the Constitution and our laws. We're a land of laws. The highest law in the land is the Constitution. And that's being ruled over by judges. The Supreme Court interprets that, and our Congress makes laws. We are a land of laws, and y'all just desecrated the building that creates the law. Wait, motherfuckers got me pissed, and it's going to be a pissed off day today, by the way. There's going to be a lot of hijacks because I'm upset, and there's a lot of things I need to speak on. This is one of many. Those cultists going through our nation's capital with Confederate flags and non-American flags with just a person's name on it. A person is not the country. We are not ruled by a king. But I'm also mad as a black man. I'm mad because we see the hypocrisy. It's clear. It's clear as day. We saw police remove barricades, swinging their arms, talking about come on in. We saw police taking selfies with people. Because what they look like. They look like me, and they was carrying BLM flags or stop the violence flags, then it'd be a whole nother story. Ain't no removing barricades. No, it's horses and shields and rubber bullets and sometimes real bullets and tear gas and all the works. They got all the plans. They got all of the routes. They got drones flying over when it's us. It's, white people like Blue Lives Matter. When it's you guys doing the shit, y'all just chase the freaking Capitol police officer up 3 flights of stairs. So solitary black cop trying to protect the Capitol. I saw the video y'all chasing them up the stairs. What happened to Blue Lives Matter? He's wearing blue. Sick of the fucking hypocrisy, and every black person in America could see it. We see the difference of when the freaking cult leader wants to take a picture in front of a burnt down church and uses the National Guard and every police officer in DC to clear those people out, arresting black reporters live on freaking camera just for being black. But then when it's y'all folks, when it's those cult members who try and share the same name that we have, because this is a music, anime, game, and analyst show. We ain't got nothing to do with trying to make someplace great, because we was already great. We kings. So where we step, we great. So yeah, I'm. This is going to be an upset episode because I'm still got that in the back of every black person's mind. We have a true understanding of what America is. So we weren't really surprised when we saw y'all acting y'all ass out there trying to freaking do a coup or insurrection or sedition or treason. We weren't surprised because we know that's what y'all do. We've seen it in our history. We know exactly how y'all react when y'all don't get y'all way. When we don't win, we try and go through the proper channels. We don't go storming buildings and whatnot. We endured the entire civil rights movement. When we went down in DC, when our people went down in DC in the 60s to have their speech in Washington, we didn't go directly to the White House or the Capitol trying to break shit. So it's going to be one of those type of episodes because black people recognize the double standards. We see how y'all respond to y'all when y'all act a damn fool, showing you vandalisms, you freaking Germanic savage tribes. Yeah. Showing you vandalism, vandalizing the symbol of the American democracy. And then when we just trying to say, can you please stop putting your fucking knee on our necks and leaving it there for 8 minutes? Can you please stop shooting us in the back as we try and go and protect our children that's in the car? Can you please stop shooting us in the car when we just trying to show you our freaking driver's license? When we stand up and try and say that to you guys, y'all respond with the fucking full cavalry. When the Native Americans are trying to tell you, hey, can y'all please stop drilling y'all pipelines in our burial grounds, in our homes? Y'all respond with the National Guards and water hoses and all types of shit. But, when y'all upset that y'all lost some shit that y'all rigged in the first place, that y'all set up for your own sales with your redlining and your gerrymandering, your voter suppression, your brand new ID laws, driver's license laws and whatnot, and your real IDs, all of a sudden we need new IDs on top of the IDs that we get. When y'all do all that and y'all still lose, y'all still you throw your temper tantrum, and those who are supposed to protect us from you crazy motherfuckers let you right on in because they just like you. They are the same as you. They just wearing their costume that day. They're not wearing their white robes or their skinheads that day. They're wearing their blue uniforms and they tin badges. We know that a police officer is a freaking generational job. We know the same hands that held the batons and the police dogs on King and X and Huey are the same damn dads and granddads and uncles and whatnot that are teaching these 30-year-old police officers out right now, who weren't just but children doing the civil rights movement, but they dads and their brothers and their uncles were cops doing that crazy shit because that's how they used to do it back then. We know that they taught y'all the same shit because y'all grew up in the same household. We know. And with that being said, I'm going to turn the floor over to my brother MVP.
So my thing is, it's crazy when you hear stuff like, "Oh, we shot this black guy because we felt threatened," right? But then you let people storm the Capitol building, and a whole officer got hit with a fire extinguisher, and later on died. And I'm like, so you weren't threatened by none of that at all? Like, dude came in with a Viking suit, and you didn't feel threatened like at all by that? So you can already see that it's a skin thing. It's a skin color thing, because it's like they actually are giving off violent behavior, and yet you're still allowing this to happen. But that's just one point. And JDubb already touched that. But my issue is, as a country, we look weak as shit. And I'm like, for our leaders to want to boast like United States is so strong and we're this and this and that, I'm like, you let people storm the Capitol. Bro, I don't care if it's a skin thing, dog. At the end of the day, that should not be tolerated at all. And that's why I'm so heated about it, because I'm like, the racial shit is so strong that you would risk looking weak to outside people. Because, for example, someone, if I was a terrorist in another country or something, and I saw that, I'd be like, oh, so all I gotta do is just like blend in with the crowd, storm the Capitol, and then blow that shit up. And I'm like, I hope leaders understand that the racism shit has to stop, because it's not just because I'm black, I'm going to do something wrong, or if I'm white, I'm going to do it the right way. It's, people do bad shit. People do good shit. It's people. So if you want to give off, and it's so crazy because that guy, I'm not going to say his name, but I guess he's the president as of right now. He boasts like making America look strong. And I'm like, dog, did you just see? This looks weak, dog. This looks super weak. And I'm like, from that standpoint, y'all gotta, like, I need the leaders to really crack down on holding people responsible. No matter what their color is, bro. Hold them responsible, because that shit is gonna get the country fucked up when you letting people just walk up in the Capitol. This hasn't happened since like 1940 or some crazy year. You know what I'm saying? Like
1814, my brother.
1814. Thank you. So, like, man, get it together, dog. I'm like, I don't really get into the politics, but when I see something so blatant, I'm like, as the leaders who are supposed to be paying attention to this stuff, y'all better hold everybody responsible for what just happened, dog. Because you gotta, you know how they say you gotta make an example out of some people? This is the perfect time for you. You're gonna have to make an example, because if you don't, another country out there is looking like, oh, they sweet over there. They sweet. Oh, I'll be like, yo, I just need some people that look white. Like, I'll find some people in my country that look white, and I'm like, yo, do y'all hate the United States? Yup. All right, we got a plan, because if you white, you can get through the door.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt with the laughter.
No, I'm done. But that's a real problem. I want people who's watching and everybody like understand.
But that'll be resolved. I'm gonna get all this shit fixed when I get some more capital. Speaking of which, black people, start investing. Start building your capital. Tesla opened at $573 when it went public back in December 17th or 13th. It is January 8th yesterday. January 8th was yesterday. The stock rose to $880. You could have made a nice profit, black people, if y'all would have invested. There's other things like, the market is for the retirement, because if you're requiring Social Security and all that shit, don't count on. For our subjects, we'll start kick it off with our topics today, Mr. MVP.
Yeah, so for Netflix or whatever, saying they always add in, shows and things of that nature. So I took it upon myself to watch Wolverine. And Wolverine, is like iconic far as, in the Marvel world. And this version of Wolverine is younger though. Taller too. Like it's like as Wolverine got older, he got shorter. Or I don't know, maybe he's just always in like attack mode. I don't know. But in this one,
you're right. Wolverine is actually notoriously known for being short. He's like 5'2" or something.
Man, this dude was like 6'2" in this one. I don't know. I was like, I don't know what happened. But so I'm like, okay, let me watch this Wolverine joint. And it's an older version. You can tell by the animation it's a little bit older, but it's still decent animation. So I checked it out or whatever. I was able to get through the whole thing, and there was a lot that happened that kind of like made me not want to like watch it again, because my goal was to watch Wolverine. So I would say I do like the fact that they let Wolverine actually like go hard in this one. Like he was actually like penetrating people with his claws.
Okay, glad you said with his claws, because
Pause.
Yeah.
he did a whole lot of penetration, right? But then they had but then like I don't know, I did like his personality in this one more than I like his standard personality. Like, did you see in like X-Men and stuff like that? He was still an asshole, but I don't know, he just seemed cooler or whatever. But it's interesting because like he would get in the I don't know why I pay attention to details, but like he would get in these fights, right? And then the next day, like he'll get in the fights and like his outfits will be like torn to shreds, right? Just destroyed. And he'll come back the next day fresh with the same outfit. I'm like, yo,
haven't thought about that. That was a good pickup.
Sewing your shit up? Like, who's sewing your shit up, dog? Like, who's keeping you this fresh? Like, I don't understand. Like, I understand you have the healing factor, but I didn't know your clothes have a healing factor too. But my question to you: did you see any of Wolverine? First of all,
I did make it through 3 episodes of it. That's not to say that it was just horrible, terrible, and whatnot. It's just I think in the very first episode it was to be continued, and it was a showdown with the father. Then the second episode it was to be continued, and it was a showdown with a samurai. Then the third episode it was to be continued, and then there's a showdown with Omega Red. And these are just the first 3 episodes, and each of the first 3 episodes ends with a to be continued of me fighting a boss character or a new challenger. And it was like, that's a turnoff for me when you can't be more innovative than that in your first 3. Like, okay, you could do that as a ploy once or twice throughout the entire series, but your very first 3 episodes are repeating the same pattern back to back. That's lazy writing to me, and I just do not forgive anything. If you don't put the effort into entertaining me, then if you don't put the effort into your work to entertain, then I'm not going to put the effort in and try and appreciate the work.
So two things that was like, or one thing. Well, something that was interesting to me was, okay, yeah, 2 things. So one, I like that it showed how creative Logan can be in a fight, because there was a lot of times where like I thought he was done for. He was still talking shit though. Like he was getting handled, and he's like, yeah, but this time, as I get back up, like, yeah, this time, bub, you're gonna get it. And then he get knocked back down. And he be like, hold on, this time you're gonna get it. And he get knocked. I'm like, yo, if you didn't have it, like he's and the father's not even trying. He's not trying. But as he got into more of his fights and he was getting handled even more, the way he won was him being like really strategic and like using his environment, using like people's like weight against them, and it was pretty, that part was pretty dope. But then there was a lot of filler of like I guess them trying to get us to feel something more for the characters, but it didn't like the character. I didn't really feel anything for even the woman, like the the damsel in distress. I didn't really. I, eh. And she was going through some tough times, by the way. Like she was going through some tough times, but I just like I'm here for the action and seeing Wolverine get his ass whooped and then come back like all like Jean-Claude Van Damme. So Jean-Claude Van Damme Jean-Claude Van Damme. Listen. Jean-Claude Van Damme in a lot of his movies would get his ass whooped, and then right towards the end he remember how to fight, and he would just crush everything. I don't know why they do it like that. Like he'd be like, he be like, he get up all sweating and bruised up, and he give that serious face like, all right, I remember all my training, and then he would just like jump in the air, split kicking people in the face, and just he would go crazy. That's how Wolverine was to me. In my mind, I was like, yo, he would get beat down, and then something would just click, and then he would just like, and when he crush you, he crush you like.
Yeah, I guess that's further along in the episode.
Super violent. Yeah. He was doing some terrible stuff to people. But I mean, I understand because he was getting handled so much. But
I do have a question for you: is the father a mutant? Because the father did some shit that the assassin did, where they sliced in the air, and then the air hits Wolverine and fucks him up. Like it's a mutant power. It's got to be. Please explain to me that it's a mutant power, right?
He's just that nice.
Oh, come on!
No, listen. The whole season, he's just that nice. Like
the father is just that nice,
bruh. Even to like the what do you call it? Like the climax or like the build up. Like you would think he would get like handled. They flipped the script and he's even nicer. I'm like, bro, how do y'all gonna kill this guy? Like, I understand they wanted to do the whole like old grandmaster type feel thing, like saying because he's experienced and he's older and he's trained and stuff like that, that it's hard to beat the grandmaster, right?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? He's going against mutants and he's getting double teamed. Everybody's coming at him, man, and he just handles everyone.
So he's regular human, but he's elite swordsman.
So elite that he can slice the air and send a shockwave to Wolverine, by the way, who is pretty fast in the show. He's pretty.
Thank you for saying fast. Thank you, because I'm just over here steaming. Like I already started out this episode at the top of the key, letting you guys know this is going to be somewhat of an angry episode. So. My blood is boiling over here, but MVP just said it. Wolverine is fast as fuck. You telling me, old ass man who got a grown ass daughter, old enough to marry, so I'm gonna say he's at least 57. I know that's a weird ass number.
Yeah, okay, I'll give it to you. Mm-hmm.
And he beating a Wolverine who we've all said who you've already said is the younger version of the Wolverine that I watched in the show X-Men, another Japanese animated version of a classic American cartoon and comic. X-Men and Wolverine, as everybody knows.
Don't ever say cartoon ever again.
No, X-Men is a cartoon.
It's a comic.
It's a comic. It's a comic book, but it is a cartoon. It is not an anime.
It's a comic. That's what it is. It's a comic.
No, a comic is
that's a comic that's animated.
Technically, says hijack. He just gave me a hijack moment. Eminem belongs in black culture hip hop. And the reason why you took this moment to hijack is because my co-host MVP said that X-Men is a comic, which means the words matter. Well, words.
Hey, words matter. I like that. that.
Words definitely matter. Not. Almost had me hijack my hijack right there.
Right, you can't. You're not allowed to hijack your hijack. Okay. Keep your hijack
almost
going,
had me going to BLM, but we're going to stick back to the Western. So, Eminem is a wordsmith. You can't say that he doesn't contribute to hip hop. What he has done things with words that no other person has been able to do, and other rappers are now trying to emulate and copy. That's what emulate means. But since we're using words, I just figured I'd break it down even further. So
I feel you. I feel you, brother.
Eminem has done things with words. So words are important. And the reason I brought that up is because the English language ain't R. The English language, the basis of rhyme, rap, is simile, metaphor, schemes, onomatopoeia.
Shakespeare.
Exactly. Haiku is a form of poetry. You don't see people rapping in haiku because haiku is an Asian thing. It's an Asian language. We're speaking an English language that, as we know, is white folk people. And white people created the language, then they actually created the lane for us to create hip hop. So for us to say that hip hop is created and only for blacks because it's a black space, well, we're not speaking the language and the poetic forms that we would have been taught back in Africa. We're using their forms, their word, their English language, their verbs, their adjectives for our hip hop. And we weren't the first ones to create fucking similes, metaphors, and rhymes. Like my brother MVP just said, one of the famous rhymers and poets out there, Shakespeare. And African Bambaataa, Zulu Nation, Hurt, all of them, our pioneers. James Brown rapping. I've heard Muhammad Ali rapping. And they were before the 70s. They were the 60s and whatnot. So that's all I want to say on that hijack. But
to comment on your hijack, my issue with it is, one, saying the word is like, people feel that Eminem wouldn't be Eminem if he wasn't white, right? They're saying the only reason why he's Eminem is because he's white, right? So then I'm like, I ask those same people, the only reason why you're saying that Eminem is in like one of the greats, or you don't want to put him in the black space or whatever you want to call it, is because he's white. If it was a black person who did exactly what he's done, you will put him up there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you're being hypocritical, because you're like, oh, he's white, so that's the only reason why he's so great. But then you don't want to accept his greatness and what he's able to do or what he's done. Because, for example, to really bring it home, I thought one of the staples, if you're talking all this bullshit like hip hop and the core of hip hop and being genuine and all that other stuff, the reason why I say these people are hypocrites, because according to the culture, if you are a battle rapper, you are thorough. Like, yeah, you might not be able to make songs, but if you can battle rap, specifically battle rapping, that puts you in a different tier than other people. Like, you're already stapled as a great lyricist and like someone who's about hip hop and da, right? My guy Eminem literally started from battle rapping. And that's why I'm like, it's because he's white that you don't want to give him his accolades. I'm like, for him to, one, start from battle rapping and actually be like crushing shit. Like, he's actually like the stuff he was saying, it was just blows your mind, right? And then to actually turn around and make good music too. You see what I'm saying? Like, if he's not hip hop, then what the fuck is hip hop? Because he literally did the steps. Like, some people don't even battle rap, because I'm not a battle rapper, but I still like to think I can rap. You know what I'm saying? And same for other people. Like, they're not battle rappers, but they can rap. But when you say you can battle rap, you already get like this certain respect. And I'm like, it's crazy how people don't give him, like, because one thing they say about like white people rapping being like culture vultures and like just don't. Eminem has never done that. He's always done his own thing. He started all better. I'm like, how could you be all about hip hop and not give a motherfucker who breathes that shit from the jump, before any of this clout stuff was a thing, before cancel culture, before all these things, before industry plugs? and you won't, like, because he's white, you won't give him his just due. And that is what trips my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to elaborate on what you were saying, but I'm going to leave it be because we gave the people something to think about. Yeah, back to Wolverine and X-Men and yeah. So we were saying that I was saying that X-Men was a comic, but I mean a cartoon, but we would go to a animated comic series. Since words
that
matter.
sounds beautiful to me.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
So I forget what my original point was I was going to make. That is one of the problems where you hijack. But I will say that it just felt a little disingenuous in the first 3 episodes, how hard people were going against Wolverine. And I understand this was a younger Wolverine, but I didn't understand people had the power of sword magic where they could make wind. They could slice so hard that wind attacks you and fucks you up the way that it messed up Wolverine. Like with delayed hits too. Like it'd hit him and then he'd stand there and then it explode all over him. And his clothes
that's how fast
it
was. That's how fast it was. That's what they're saying. It's so fast that you didn't even realize it had hit you.
Here's my thing,
that's
though.
Crazy.
I'm a fan of X-Men and Wolverine, so I know that Wolverine has anti-animenium. Oh fuck! I'm not going to say that word correctly.
Yeah, you got metal and shit.
Come on, you know the word. Say it for me. Save me here. Don't let me drown.
I just say he got metal in his body.
No, adamantium.
Animaniacs. Like, boy, that's what you sound like you're saying.
Just let me just float out. I need a lifeline, people. Somebody could say it correctly in the comments. Adamantium. He's had special metal claws.
Thank you. I don't know why you like people know like it's metal, bro. It's hard.
I surrender. He has special metal claws that can cut through anything. Yet these Japanese swords, katanas, and I understand a katana contains the soul of his master, and they handed down for generations, and they're possibly the best made swords in the world, but they are not standing up to the Wolverine claws. Damn, I want to say that word so bad. I wish I could. But somehow Wolverine is not slicing through every sword that he comes in contact with, which was really pissing me off. The fights should not have been what they were. And the other thing, the fights were garbage in the first 3 episodes. All of the animation and action in them was garbage, which is going to bring me into my wrap up on the whole Netflix animes of Wolverine. I really could just I don't need to say anymore because I don't recommend any one of them, and I don't want to keep shitting on somebody's work because I know how hard it is when we put our work out and people may not like what we say, what we do, and it is a part of
look at the way MVP's face is shaped. Looking like a mom, looking like a doofus. I don't know. Somebody need to draw his face better.
Anime will survive, and so will MAGA podcast, and so will you.
So are you, man.
So will you. Yeah,
we behind us now.
We got through. We looking at 2020 with 2020 vision in our rear view, because you always see the past in perfect clarity. We looking at 2020 with 2020 vision, so we survived that. We survived hell year. We're going to survive everything else. And as long as you keep joining us, you'll keep getting informed about, everything that's going to be happening. So stay tuned. Keep watching. Remember to hit the like, to subscribe. Yeah, I can't talk right now. Mouth full of spit, talking shit, swallowing spit. But yeah, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell, hit that like button, hit that dislike button. Shit, you may not agree with anything. Yeah. So leave a comment. We ain't got time for the negativity, but leaving a comment. We'll read it. We ain't gonna pay the negativity no mind, but we'll still read it. You'll get your voice out.
Yeah, but be heard.
Yeah, we want to thank you for joining us here on the MAGA podcast. I have been your co-host, JDubb. That's JDubb and
NVP, NV Payton.
And once again, we just want to wish you all a peace.